Did you listen to yesterday's episode? That was crazy, right? I mean, I'm still I'm still recovering a little bit from what happened there. And if you didn't listen to that episode, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what happened in yesterday's episode, then cover your ears right now or put your device on mute. No, not mute. On wait, yeah, mute. No, isn't that the microphone? Well, anyway, just turn the volume off your device. And I'll tell everybody else who doesn't care about spoilers about what happened yesterday. So, on yesterday's episode, I was using the back cover of the Recipes for Success guidebook, available on lifespotluck.com. It's free. To explain a use of the cards to divine low stakes things, not big decisions in life, just low stakes divination. That's all, you know? And I was making all these excuses for like, oh, well, these cards, they're not really for divination. It's just, they're, they're, they're for what they are. This is just fun. If you don't know what you're having for dinner, use a card and let it predict what you're going to have for dinner or whatever, that kind of thing. And so I, now obviously mistakenly, since the spirit world of Life's Potluck Buffet made itself present, I mistakenly challenged the cards by saying that today's episode would be about Worksheet 52, that I had already uploaded Worksheet 52 to the website, and that I had planned to do Worksheet 52 today. And I shuffled the cards, I drew them, So I shuffled the cards, I cut the deck, and then I drew a card. And heavens to Betsy, it was card 52. It was card 52. So I obviously apologized to Life's Potluck Buffet for challenging its power. And I will tell all of you out there right now, the power of Life's Potluck Buffet is great. I just discovered that. I had some sense that it may be a powerful deck of cards, but more powerful than I thought. Okay, so today's worksheet is Worksheet 52. And Worksheet 52 corresponds to rule number 2. Do you remember rule number 2? It's in life, we are all Dali. And if you read the card, you see the story of Dali on a game show called What's My Line, where he basically breaks the game show by challenging, in a sense, the idea of what a job is or what work is. For him, it's his whole life is work. And so when everybody was asking him, oh, are you an athlete? Are you a comic book artist? Are you an author? And all of these things. Are you a leading man? He said yes to all of them. Because for Salvador Dali, there was no like, oh, I don't get a paycheck for being a, athlete. Therefore, I'm not an athlete, right? But on What's My Line, that's the whole point of the quote unquote game. Why did I say quote unquote game? It's a game. But that's the whole point of the game show, is that you discover somebody's occupation, right? But when you say, well, what's Salvador Dali's occupation? Oh boy, is that a mistake? In fact, at the beginning of the game, weirdly, they flash up on the screen artist when, in fact, when they usually do the celebrity mystery challenger on that old game show, it's just that you're finding out the name of the person, right? The panelists are blindfolded. They don't know who you are. So they don't know that Salvador Dali is there because they can't see Salvador Dali. And often people would disguise their voices, although Salvador Dali doesn't even disguise his voice. So that's another amazing thing. But for some reason, the show, it's like as if the show sensed that it needed to say, oh, he's an artist. He's an artist. We're pigeonholing this man, Salvador Dali. He's an artist. That's all, right? Salvador Dali was having none of that. So that inspired Card 52, which is basically saying you make your rules. When it comes to your life, your work, and remember, work is everything you do, like Salvador Dali knows. When you wake up, when you go to bed, it's you. We have different aspects of that. Remember, your work life is a pie. Remember that worksheet and that card. All those elements make up your lived life. So this card is saying for that lived life, only you make the rules. Right? This card is meant to be a card about liberation. Yes, there are things in the world that confine us and constrain us. That's a fact. And there's no denying of that. But whenever you have the opportunity to make a choice about your life and what happens, be ready. And that's what Card 52 is really about. You make the rules. So let's look here at Worksheet 52. So Worksheet 52 is very simple. There are 7 pointed stars at the top left corner and the bottom right corner, and they're black. There's the usual framing of the worksheet. It's in blue, and it has rounded corners. And the top right, it says Worksheet and 52 with a blue bowl and magenta filling. Oh, whatever you call the inside of whatever the stuff's in the bowl, there has to be a word for the stuff in the bowl, right? I mean, am I the only person who thinks it? Okay. On yesterday's episode, we also talked about that. Like, what do you call the stuff that's inside a bowl? Do you call it filling? The filling is like something inside a dumpling, right? It's something you end up with inside a food wrapper. You fill a bowl, but is the result filling? I don't think so. Please comment on this. I really would be interested to know what people think about this, or if there's a word out there that maybe we'll have to come up with one. If someone can come up with a word for what you call the stuff inside a bowl, generally, like, the bowl's filling. Let's come up with a word and put it in the comments so that we can all celebrate. So, on the bottom left-hand side, it says Lifestyle Buffet and lifestylelook.com. And then today on the title in the left, in the top left side of the blank space in the middle of the worksheet, it says you make the rules. And then there's, 2 of the blue dumpling have transformed themselves into Dali's mustache. And if you watch that episode of What's My Line, you'll see that Dorothy Kilgallen, who is the one who guesses it's Salvador Dali, her final question is, would you be identified by, say, just your mustache alone? And Dali says yes. So what if Dali had said no? That would have been bizarre and awesome. Though I'm glad he said yes, because they were running out of time for the segment. Okay, so you make your rules. That's why Worksheet 59 has nothing else on it except you make your rules and Dali's mustache and the stars, and that's it. It's just blank. Because Dali's mustache, in a sense, is the prompt. Because it reminds us that our lives and our work are as rich and complex as Salvador Dali's life. No more, no less. And so use Worksheet 52 to do whatever you wish. You make your rules. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you very much. If you want to get Worksheet 52 and all of the other worksheets that have featured on this podcast, head to lifespotluck.com/worksheets. It's in the description of the YouTube video here. And sign up, sign in, all free, and download the worksheet for free, or any worksheets you wish, and enjoy. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time.